she passes goes. Ah, when she walks, she's like a samba that swings so cool and sways so gentle that when she passes, each one she passes goes. Ah, oh, but I watch her so sadly. How can I tell her I love her? Yes, I would give my heart gladly. But each day when she walks to the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at me. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes I smile, but she doesn't see. She just doesn't see. She just doesn't see. Oh, she doesn't see.
And live here in the WMNF studios, Rebecca Zapen and Joel Douglass. We're so glad to have you guys here.
It's great to be here.
We're glad to be here. It's kind of surreal.
Well, it's been a minute since you've been on this show, so
just also the fact that I moved here not quite 18 years ago, and I was soon playing here, and so that's what's wild, is to be with Joel doing his thing,
returning with family in tow, and a musical family for sure.
Yeah.
So you started off with a bossa nova tune, and tell me a little bit about how you got sort of connected with that genre, because you put out at least a couple albums, I believe, with bossa nova and jazz.
I started getting really interested in jazz when I was in college, and I just love bossa nova. I just love that feel. I even like to take pop songs and turn them into bossa nova. So, and Joel, what is your feeling on?
I don't know. There's just some sort of je ne sais quoi about the feeling that you get when you're physically there playing it. You know, it's great to listen to it. It's just very bouncy, and the rhythm is infectious. But it just, not only is it infectious to listen to, but to play it, it's equally so.
Yeah. We'll have to figure out the Portuguese for je ne sais quoi, though. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
And the other thing is, with that music, you can't sit still. It's impossible. You got to do some moving and get the bones moving. So let's hear another tune.
Okay, so yeah, some songs are maybe going to feature my vocals more, and sometimes Joel. But yeah, so when we were first starting to play together, it was about 2 years ago. We played at the Florida Folk Fest, and we were like, what are we going to play? So we liked Leonard Cohen, and we're like, what about that song from the Jungle Book?
Yeah, Jungle Book.
Right. So these are our influences.
Nice.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and the plants and you take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few. The bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Now if you pick a pawpaw or a prickly pear and you prick a raw paw, well next time beware. Don't pick the prickly pear by the paw. If you pick a pear, try to use the claw. But you don't need to use the claw when you pick a pear of the big pawpaw. Have I given you a clue? The bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. They'll come to you.
All right. I'm thinking that we should go into maybe something that you wrote. Do you want to do the piece that you would do solo or the piece that we do together?
Let's do the one that we do together.
Okay.
Discovery.
So why don't you share a little bit about this one?
Yeah. No worries.
Well, can I just say that when Joel and I played at the folk festival 2 years ago, he did not play piano. So like this has just been an amazing blossoming for us to like see him grow musically. So this is called. You should introduce it. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is a piece that I wrote originally for viola and piano. I called it Discovery. But since we don't really have a viola on us right now, I figured we'd be able to play through it with piano and violin. It should sound just as good.
Oh, let me just double check tuning.
You're listening to Rebecca Zapen and Joel Douglass right here on the Live Music Showcase.
Ready to go?
That was gorgeous. Rebecca Zapen, Joel Douglass here on the Live Music Showcase. And Rebecca, I got to ask you something. I've read that you studied the violin starting at age 3.
Yes.
Wow.
My mother got all of us kids started on violin when we were about that age, and she's incredible. She interesting with Joel. We haven't gotten to this yet, but he's pretty much self-taught. So even though he grew up in this musical household, it was really his learning happened on his own. But my mother would FaceTime him and tell them a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I don't have any formal training when it comes to playing the piano. I'm pretty much entirely self-taught. My dad, being a pianist, would give me some advice here and there, maybe about what songs to learn or maybe a little bit about technique that I could use. But it was mostly through my efforts how I learned the piano. But my Grandma Lois, she was a key audience member of mine.
Key? I like what you did there.
Oh yeah, like music. And almost daily I would FaceTime her when she had the time, and she would just listen to me play. It was really quite spectacular. And she's a classical musician, and she would, ground me from time to time, not like a punitive grounding, but she would say, like, Joel, you should work on your scales, or maybe you should work on this piece by Chopin or whichever composer. But I appreciate all the listening that my grandma has done with me.
Yeah, and I hope she's listening.
That would be pretty wild.
We love her very much.
Grandmas are the best. So, Joel, just tell me, as far as classical composers, who's your favorite?
Ooh, that's a hard question because there's so many instruments out there. If I had to say for piano, I would say Chopin. He's influenced a lot of the style in which I write. He's influenced me that way. And Liszt, I admire Liszt for his bombastic power, Yeah, those two, I'd say. And Rachmaninoff, too. I love some Rachmaninoff.
Although Rachmaninoff in the morning is good. Yep, I like it. So, Rebecca, looks like you've changed instruments. You're fixing to play some guitar for us.
Yeah, this is a song that I wrote, believe it or not, in like 1998. And then over the years, it's evolved into sometimes even a spiritual song. Like if I'm playing it at a religious place, we've changed a few lyrics. But anyway, this is off of my album Nest, but we are doing it as a duo, and Joel will do the main vocals. And this is Peace.
Peace in my heart, such a secret thing, love imitating art. imitating art. Let me hear you sing. Now I see just you and me.
And here on Live Music Showcase here on WMNF, Rebecca Zapen, Joel Douglass, giving us some great music this afternoon. So, Rebecca, your album Nest came out in 2011. It was Florida's Album of the Year, which is certainly deserved.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Good job, Mom.
You can raise your hand up and pat yourself on the back for that one. But so you kind of you're sort of two realms musically that you do, kind of the singer-songwriter thing.
At least
one
two
hand,
realms.
or more than two. And then, of course, you're into the bossa nova, jazz, and you've also played with full orchestras. Tell us how that experience is.
Earlier in my dad's career as a conductor, he was conducting the Hollywood Philharmonic, and I actually did some solos singing Nature Boy and Someone to Watch Over Me, so doing a few jazz standards backed by the orchestra. But more typically, I'd be a violinist in a group, symphony backing somebody like Indigo Girls, Alan Parsons Project, ELO. So like that's really neat. The places that the squeaky violin of H3. It's been neat, like what genres do you play? And I'm like, okay, well, there's been klezmer and singer-songwriters and what else? Well, anyway, but anything where you could improvise and hear it, I do it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, I want to mention to the audience that we have an audience participation portion of this show. We call it the AMA, which stands for Ask the Musicians Anything. So if you would email us at dj@wmnf.org. Yeah, I can talk. We'd like to pass on your questions to our artists this afternoon. And we especially like weird questions. So
Oh, gosh.
we always say the weirder, the better. So now that that's said, what else what's the next song?
What do you feel like, Joel? Should we do the Shokan Farewell to tip even further into sort of some Americana, or should we do the Autumn Leaves because we love our bossa nova?
We like our bossa nova.
Okay, let me find some Autumn Leaves. So I like to sing this half in French and half in English.
Oh.
Yeah, and this tune was not originally written as a bossa nova, but it sounds good that way.
Yeah.
I always enjoy someone interpreting a song rather than, just trying to recreate it note by note, which is a skill that I appreciate.
Right.
Cover bands do that, but
Right.
I really like when someone takes hold of a song and makes it their own.
Many Halloweens ago, when I still lived in Jacksonville, did a Halloween gig, and me and my bassist dressed up as Robert Palmer Girls, and that was the first time we did a bossa nova version of "Addicted to Love." So if you're looking for a cover of mine to listen to, but that's "Addicted to Love." But here we are with "Autumn Leaves." C'est une chanson qui nous ressemble. Toi, tu m'aimais et je t'aimais. Nous vivions tous les deux deux ensemble, toi qui m'aimais, moi qui t'aimais. Mais la vie sépare ceux qui s'aiment tout doucement, sans faire de bruit. Et la mer efface sur le sable les pas des aimants désunis. The falling leaves drift by the window, the autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter's song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. When autumn leaves start to fall. When autumn leaves start to fall.
And lovely tunes from Rebecca Zapen Joel Douglass right here on Live Music Showcase. That was real. The bossa nova treatment of that song. I've heard it done by a bunch of people, and that just gives it a whole nother flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I'm just excited hearing that. So,
I just want to make sure we like mention the musical legacy of our family. And so my dad's mom and dad were Seymour Zapen was a jazz bassist and guitarist, and he had a band called the Gentlemen of Note. And Grandma was an accordionist who could sing. She was gorgeous. She had 3 accordion lessons and then proceeded to have like a 40-year career playing and singing. Then my mother, father, and stepfather were all symphony musicians. And so, yeah, I was raised like with a very clear, like, here's your lessons, you're studying weekly. I went on to study in college. And then Joel was, I don't know, we tried to get him to try this and try that instrument. And it really had to be on his own terms. Did I mention he's 16? So
You did not mention
no,
that.
because he looks like, for those who are only hearing him, you can't see him. Yeah, he looks like an adult, but yeah.
I would say he is an adult.
Well,
so
he is an adult,
there
but
you
he's
go.
16, and so he's just. It's really been cool because I say, what, Dad? Your dad kind of grew the same way too, musically.
Yeah, approximately. I don't want to say that I was stubborn to learn an instrument, but I kind of was. I started on violin, and that went on for about a year, I think. Yeah, and then I don't know. I guess I lost interest in that. So then what it was drums at the same time as violin, wasn't
and
it?
also some bassing, some guitar.
Yep. And then I tried bass and guitar, but none of them really stuck. And I think it was because it wasn't entirely my decision. It wasn't entirely autonomous to play them. But I don't know, something about the piano clicked, and I'm happy it did.
What would you like to do next? You have the list?
Yeah, do you wanna lean into some, what did you say? Americana?
Oh, yeah. So we'll jump back to. I had an amazing colleague at Bringy School of Music, a mom and pop shop and studio that existed for, I think, 65 years. And so a really wonderful gentleman named Rod Swanigan, not only could he play all the stringed instruments, we used to do Tai Chi in the lobby, like just feet away from the parents that are waiting for their kids. Anyway, he passed away, and we recorded this to be played at his memorial. Also, this violin that I'm playing was a gift from him. It has a cigarette burn on it.
Could you possibly hold up your
Yeah,
violin
it
and one of
came-
our cameras
It
could get
came
it?
this way from Rod, and there was a cigarette burn on it. And my stepfather of blessed memory, he fixed it. So there's just like a lot of music that is like with you every day, even just in what you're holding. So this was a request by his wife. This is A Show Can Farewell. Hey, can you play that song from that Civil War special? A Show Can. Okay, sorry, I've done that joke a few times.
was lovely. Very lovely.
Thank you.
Rebecca and Joel in the studios making some lovely. While we have time, we need to give credit where credit is due to a talented and hardworking group of volunteers who make the show possible. Our sound mixer today is Pamela Robinson. A little help from Maestro Mark Perfetti as well. Video director is Lisa Reuter. And on cameras, we have Ike Big Sarge Parnham.
Nice.
We have Phoenix. And we have also Mark Perfetti getting out from behind the soundboard and helping us out on camera. Our board op is Charlie Cushings. I'm Ed Lehman, your host for today. And I'm just really enjoying. I did have to ask you one question on that song. I know that somebody. Okay, one more. Yeah, Jerry McGowan is helping out on sound too. So it sounds like a real traditional song,
Yeah.
but it was actually a fairly contemporary written song.
Yeah,
I don't recall.
Jay Ungar
Yes,
wrote it.
that's it.
Yeah. It's neat. It's neat because you think it's super, super old, but it's not. Can I grab a D and an A from you? Just want to check.
Yeah, sure.
What should we do next?
Oh, before you do something else, I did want to ask you something. I know you teach as well. So share with us what kind of experience you have had in teaching music.
Well, I always had like a small private studio since I was maybe in my 20s. And then just saying yes. I have a tendency to say yes to things. So I've had a small teaching position at Eckerd College, sometimes working with like small ensemble or just individuals. Bringy School of Music. I was there from the time I was pregnant with this guy till the end of till they closed their doors in 2021. I took a job teaching at PCCA, Pinellas County Center for the Arts. And I started that just before Joel entered there. So it's been like amazing because I never actually went to an arts high school. I didn't go to one in Jacksonville. So it's so neat to get that experience and see him enjoying that. So what about teaching? Well, I like it, and we're going to do a recital where it falls on May 4th, so I decided to go with May the 4th be with you. So like I'll be in some Princess Leia buns, and we're going to do a Star Wars theme at the end. So
That
I don't know if
sounds
that
like-
answers your questions.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think you did.
What do you think, Joel?
You want to do Skylark?
Okay. So this one will be an instrumental and featuring mostly Joel.
Don't mean to brag.
I'll get there one sec. I think it'll... Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, it's going to be totally solo, Joel. Okay. Go ahead.
Joel, Joel Douglass tickling the ivories for us here on Live Music Showcase, along with Mom Rebecca Zapen on violin. Okay, you guys have got to tell me the name of the song because it's so familiar and I can't pull it out of my head what the name of that song was.
That's when we just did Skylark.
Say again?
Skylark.
By
Hoagie
Hoagie?
Carmichael, I think.
There.
yeah.
Oh, okay. It's very familiar to me, and it's a beautiful song. And you guys are all across the board this afternoon. We've got bossa nova, we've got jazz, we got Americana. Hey, what more can you ask for? So I want to remind the listeners. Shoot us an email and ask any question you like of our artists today. It's the AMA portion, audience participation. We're into that. Just send an email to dj@wmnf.org. And we'll see how many questions we get in this afternoon. So also, Rebecca, I wanted to ask you, you had an award for Best Use of Music in a Short Film back in 2008.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
In Jacksonville, there was a writer, and he did a short film called A Riverside Evening, and he took it all around to the festivals. My gosh, Richie Levine, yeah, and so I composed some music. Chris Estes recorded it, and it's really neat to see where your projects go. Yeah.
Exactly, because can you imagine watching some films like Star Trek maybe or Star Wars you mentioned without music behind it? It would just music adds so much.
I need to toot the horn big time of my husband, Jeremy Douglass. He's been doing a lot of composing, I'd say for about 10 years. He's a music director for Job Site Theater, and they do productions out at the Straths. He's doing the stuff. I mean, like, the real stuff. So, check out Jeremy Douglass. He's not too shabby.
He's pretty he's pretty swinging.
Becomes highly recommended here. So, let's have
speaking
another
of
tune.
composing, how about the one that's inspired by
Oh, yeah.
Liszt?
So I'd mentioned earlier that I am a big fan of Liszt. He's on my playlist.
I don't think I heard that one yet.
What, you haven't?
No,
Oh.
okay.
Too bad we don't have a drummer. That would have been a rim shot there.
But since I love him so much, I made a piece that was inspired by one of his. He wrote a piece that is far more virtuosic than I can play. It's called Un Sospiro. I'm not sure what it translates to, but I do know that it is very wonderful to listen to. And I don't know if my piece quite lives up to it, but I did my best. And this is for solo piano,
And the title is?
a tribute to Un Sospiro, among others.
An absolutely gorgeous original composition by Joel Douglass. That was beautiful, and some masterful keyboard work on that. That was amazing. The you mentioned you were inspired by Liszt, but it also kind of reminded me a little bit of Debussy and La Mer, just a little bit.
Oh, I
'Cause
appreciate
it
that.
kinda-
I take that as a compliment.
Oh, absolutely, it is a compliment. So nice.
I hear we're in our last few minutes, so I want to do something completely different. We're going to do Zuckerman's famous pig
Oh,
from
boy.
Charlotte's Web.
Here we go.
Well, let's do that. Yes, we got a couple more minutes to go. At the
Yeah.
top of the hour, NPR News is coming up here on WMNF Tampa. And stay tuned after the news for Reverend Billy and the Rhythm Revival. And it has been a delight having you all on our show this afternoon. And thank you so much for sharing your music with us.
What a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been very happy to be here. It's great.
Okay. Thank you.
He's some pig, some pig, some terrific, radiant, humble pig. He is some pig. Oh wow, look at him now, Zuckerman's famous pig. Suey, what do you see? The greatest hog in history. Fine swine, wish he was mine. What if he's not so big? He's some terrific, radiant, humble thingamajigama, fine, phenomenal, my land. Isn't he grand? Zuckerman's famous pig. Golly, you gotta agree, he's a real celebrity. Fine swine, wish he was mine. What if he's not so big? He's some terrific, radiant, humble thingamajigama pig. Terrific, radiant, humble. Zuckerman's famous pig.
And I think we'll take them out with Jangology, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. 1, 2, a 1, 2.
Best song ever to close out a show. Thank you so much, Joel, Rebecca, for joining us this afternoon. And we'll be back next week here on Live Music Showcase with some more fine music. I'm Ed Lehman. We'll see you next week. Be good and go out and support live music.